The Chicago Bulls use a balanced team effort with great production coming off the bench from Buzelis, Patrick Williams, Jalen Smith. This was a really good game by the Chicago Bulls in the way that they executed. Coby White, Nikola Vucevic having really good games. We're going to talk about it all and more, but you know what we got to do first, right? Got to play that intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Hayes, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. Hey, the Chicago Bulls got a dub tonight. A very good dub at that. Now, I get it. The Toronto Raptors have not been the best team. They were riding a 5-game winning streak coming into this game against the Chicago Bulls, in which they actually had one of the best net ratings in the entire league. But the Bulls executed absolutely well in this game. Every player off the bench scored in double digits. We saw a more restricted bench by the Chicago Bulls in this game. Overall, 7 players scoring in double digits for the Bulls. And this is just a game where the Bulls just executed and took care of the measurables and the controllables really, really well. 48 points in the paints for the Bulls. They only gave up 48 points. We also scored 50 points off the bench. We'll talk about how that happened a little bit here in a second. And the Bulls just executed well in this game. This is a well-coached, well-balanced game. Despite being, out-rebounding the team by almost 10. We out-rebounded 52-44. We out-rebounded the Toronto Raptors today. You got to love to see that when it comes down to it. Bulls did have 10 turnovers. However, they were able to not allow that. 9 block shots by the Bulls today. 3 of those alone coming from Buzelis, who we're going to talk about. This was just a really well done game. Billy Donovan had some of his Billy Donovan isms at points in the game, but I'm glad the Bulls were able to pull this out. He got 25 points from Coby White. He goes 9 of 16 from the field and 5 of 8 from three-point range, 6 assists, 4 rebounds in this game. And Coby White was able to be a little bit more ball dominant today, which really did work for the Bulls. But his backcourt mate and Josh Giddey played pretty well as well. 15 points from Josh Giddey, 6 assists, 7 rebounds from him. He also had 2 block shots in this game. I would assume he only had 6 points, but it really didn't hurt the team overall because he was able to give some good defensive effort. He still had a plus-minus of +10. Lonzo Ball didn't shoot the ball well either, but, Lonzo still had 5 assists and did some really good things in this game also. 21 points from Vooch, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal from him. But let's go to the bench. I'm telling y'all, Billy Donovan may have finally, whether it be on accident or intentional, unlocked something about this bench unit, right? No THT in this game, no Javon Carter. Unfortunately, no Julian Phillips, who, because of what I'm about to talk about, has kind of lost his minutes in the rotation. But only 4 players, only going 9 deep into your rotation today, did Billy Donovan. You got 17 points in 17 minutes for Jalen Smith. Also 5 rebounds, 1 assist in this game. 11 points from Patrick Williams. He caught a body. He was 4-11 from the field, but also had 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Solid production from P. Will. 10 points from Dalen Terry, who went 4 or 5 in this game as well. He also had 4 assists. Modest Buzelis leading the team in plus-minus at +18. Not that is everything when it comes down to it, but 12 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks in this game. Only 1 turnover, only 1 personal foul. Guess what, Billy Donovan? The player that you've been saying needs to earn minutes, he played 26 minutes today. The second leading minute getter off the bench behind P. Will. And guess what he did? He performed amazingly well. He took players off the dribble. He had a couple of amazing dunks. Buzelis hit some shots in this. He was 2 for 4 from three-point range. He flashed just a little bit of everything you wanted to see from Buzelis today. Got to give hats off to that one, man. This was a really solid game. Really solid game for the Bulls. One of my lights is dead, so we're just going to turn off both of them. But love the production from the team today. Really love the production from the team, man. Modest just wanted more than P. Will. Listen, I don't know. P. Will showed some energy out there. Like, I get it. He doesn't have the up. He doesn't have the excitement factor of like a Buzelis, not by any stretch of the imagination, but P. Will's being a lot more active out there. Hell, he's getting more rebounds off the bench than what he did as a starter, which is crazy. Pat with 3 solid bench performances. Yep, 3 in a row. 3 in a row. Modest showing out with the skill set. Wow, listen. I'm telling y'all, that bench unit, that's something that I'm so impressed by, right? Because you have all young guys, right? Everybody who played off the bench today is 24 and younger. Keep that in mind. A complete young bench unit that plays with energy. As long as you have either Io, Giddy, or Lonzo out there with them, they just got to run, right? And they know how to attack. And Modest and P. Will specifically are learning how to operate better in space on the fast break, meaning how to create that space, where to go on a fast break rather than just go right to the rim, a straight line to the rim, which doesn't create space. They're starting to pick up on those things a little bit better. It's really good. I would love to see. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. What the per minute? What the production was from this team in minutes that Modest and P. Will were on the bench together. I would just love to, on the floor together. I would love to see what that looks like. I'm trying to pull that up. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let's look at the on-offs. Let's look at Modest and P. Will on the court together. Hey, it's looking pretty good. So in minutes where Modest and P. Will played 18 minutes and 42 seconds today. In that time, the Bulls had a plus minus of plus 12, a net rating of plus 30, an offensive rating of 125.6, and a defensive rating of 94.9. That's crazy. Now, again, this is against the Toronto Raptors, right? So I want to be clear in that. I want to see what those guys, if we're going to add Jalen Smith into that lineup as well. Only 5 minutes with all 3 of them on the bench, but they still had a positive net rating of 25. I'm telling y'all, there's something about Modest and P. Will playing together that I hope Billy Donovan continues to explore until it looks bad, right? But yes, P. Will actually did it tonight. P. Will look good tonight. He definitely looked good tonight. Great team win. Coby and Vooch were dope. Modest looks like he's headed for the starting lineup. I mean, it's going to be hard to keep him out of it. He may finish. We've got 33 games left this season. So I don't know if it will happen this season, but I tell you what, you can only hold him out of it so long. This was a clean win against a poor opponent. Usually we get slapped against poor opponents. That's a fact. That's a fact. Great win by the Bulls. Glad Billy is playing. Modest and P. Will off the bench is low-key good so far. Again, yes, small sample size relatively so far, but the results are looking promising. They're looking promising. Watching the youth lead the charge tonight, again, it would help with it. Yeah, I agree with you. Agree with you on that one. Bulls Troy, 3 straight good P. Will games. He's starting to convince me he's alive. Hey, he got a pulse. The body ain't dead. He got a pulse. Bro, Buzelis got swag. Go back and watch that interview KG did with P. Will and Booze after the game. His attitude is everything. Also, P. Will finally looks happy. Well, good. I'm glad they're finding these guys, man. Sometimes it's about who you play with, right? And you got to find the right combination and rotation of guys. And through what we've seen so far, Modest and P. Will out there on the court together, they look good. They look good. Patrick plays on the bench better, and that was a nice stare down. Modest did great as well. Great game by everyone tonight. Well, P. Will's playing better off the bench now. That hasn't always been true for him, but 3 games is some solid sample size. Let's hope that it continues. No Vooch in the paint, and in general, out there allows more defensive switching and allows more guys to grab rebounds overall. No Vooch in the paint. Vooch was in the paint, though. Hey, you see what happened when you leave 2 ball-headed hoes from Chicago on the bench and give our future real meaningful minutes? That's crazy. Are we calling THC a ball-headed hoe now? That's crazy. P. Will is a bench player that must continue. Loved Modest game and Coby finding his rhythm again. Good game overall from everybody today. So, yeah, good team win. This is a good team win. Really good team win. Maddie plus 18 and Patty. Maddie and Patty is crazy. First of all, that's crazy. Don't let Stacey King hear that. I'm so tired of the damn little boozy vert nickname, man. Good game. Way more enjoyable to watch the young players on this team. The more restricted bench looks good. Feels like the Bulls are kind of preparing for life after Vooch and Levine with these rotations. I mean, hey, we'll see. We'll see. I know it's been only a few games, but hopefully Billy Donovan to execute X's and O's to what's working right now. Like, for example, hey, P. Will is playing well off the bench, right in your notes. I mean, here's the thing, though, right? I mean, Billy Donovan has already basically said hey, I'm not necessarily committed to P. Will coming off the bench, which is fine, right? Well, it is what it is. But like, if you're gonna play him, cool. But then you also got to reconstruct the lineups a little bit to make it make sense, in my opinion. Like, you got to make it make sense. You got to make it make sense. And we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens, man. Overall, I'll say this is that if the Bulls can get their shit together and start finding out how these young guys play together, that's an important part. That's an important part. And when I say P. Will is a bench player, this isn't to. Did Shay? What happened? Did Shay touch your computer? As a bench player, this isn't to slight on him. A slight on him. It's just what he is, and he's playing way better coming off the bench. He's playing way better coming off the bench. Buzelis is a must in the starting lineup. I mean, you can't say that yet. I mean, look how we played today. But I do think it's a matter. Like I said, they may just continue to go to the end of the season. It may not happen until next season, but we'll see. Modest, if he played more minutes, would be rookie of the year easily. You can't say that either. I'm sorry, you can't say that. But I will say this: I think he'd be way further along in his development if he was playing more minutes. That's for sure. Patty Duncan on and staring down Podol. Yeah, that was a good moment for sure. Ecos is modest. Agree with you there, brother. Agree with you. Also, to your mention, since I haven't been able to watch, Modest and P. Will have been playing solid together defensively. Right in your notes, Billy. That's crazy. Listen, Billy doesn't take. You think Billy takes notes? You think Billy takes notes? Who do you think Billy Donovan is? So, Coby shot well tonight. Good to see his little time off didn't get it to him. No, I mean, let's not act like he didn't have a slow start coming back. But I mean, listen, Coby White's finding himself. That's good, right? You want Coby White in rhythm, and we'll see what's going to happen. Good game, nice coaching, except that timeout on the break. Yeah, that was a bad timeout. Giddey went off at Coach D right in front of GM. Okay. Show that fire. P. Will has been huge off the bench recently. I love Modest and back him in all the way. He's our guy and will dominate, but P. Will has been great to watch off the bench. Yeah, I mean, listen, sometimes you got to find yourself, right? The thing that we've always said about P. Will is it's about effort, it's about activity, and it's about him finding himself and having confidence, and he played really confident today. Year one Modest is already a stud. If year two Modest might end up being a demon, hey, we'll see. Coby did well tonight. Coby did excellent today. Did you notice we actually got a Mark Eversley sighting? He does exist. Yeah, Mark Eversley was out there today. You got to love to see that. Jalen Smith with 17 points is great. Granted, they backup big is Orlando Robinson, but still. Yeah, I mean, listen, you got to play who's in front of you, right? So you do want to put the caveat and talk about it in the realistic sense that, hey, the Bulls did this, but they did this against the Toronto Raptors, right? The Toronto Raptors, who right now, if I'm not mistaken, are the 12th seed in the Eastern Conference. But with that said, you still got to get it done. We've seen this team lose against teams missing majority of their roster. This team lost against G League players. So because of that, it's good to see this team at least take care of business that they needed to take care of. That's for sure. Business have upside this year. I feel like GM has been patient and is seeing results. Hopefully the avenue Acme is going in. It'll pay off the same as the Pistons. You could hope so. You could hope so. Mind you that both wins without Zach, without Toronto this season have been without Zach. I didn't realize that. Good point. Good point. People drank some milk. I feel you. I feel you on that one. This may be the first game this year that the defense played as well as the offense for the Bulls. Very impressed. No, we've had some games early in the year where the defense played pretty solidly. Well, kind of towards the beginning part of the year, if that makes sense. But yeah. KC to P. Will, I saw that. What has changed for you since going to the bench? P. Will, nothing really, just playing basketball, making plays, nothing really. Somebody please slap P. Will's mama. What? No. I mean, listen, it don't matter. Whatever he feels needs to happen, he's playing right now. So Stacy, dick on the floor. Me, the dick on the floor. The Dalen tried with everything in his power to block Dick. There was another one where I can't remember. There was another one that he said something. I was like, hey, Stacy, you ODing right now, bro. You ODing. Just don't like Kobe's defense. Him and Vooch, big liabilities, trade them. Listen, that's let me tell you why that's stupid logic. Because it's about how you build your team. You're not going to have a team with all defensive studs, and Coby White has been much better defensively. It's been a little knock this year, but you look at what he was last year. He's already shown an ability. You surround those guys. If you look at somebody and say, "Oh, you're bad defensively," you got to trade him. Then you wouldn't have players on teams. Kyrie Irving at times has been a liability defensively. Luka Doncic has been a liability defensively. Did somebody say trade those guys? Not to say that Coby White has the impact of those guys, but just saying because that's why you build your team. That's why you have to have proper roster construction. You don't just trade guys because of that. Don't trade guys with talent. Vern says, what up, bro? Solid win against a pathetic-ass Raptor squad. Love the progression of Modest Buzelis. Only concern is the gradual, consistent growth won't be there for him if he can't play through mistakes. Agreed, right? And that's part of the problem with Billy Donovan's kind of mindset on rookies earning minutes because he pulls them. Like, for example, Julian Phillips is out of the rotation. That's one of the things with P. Will and Modest Buzelis getting the minutes that they are. Julian Phillips is out of the rotation. Billy Donovan initially pulled his minutes because he didn't like some of the defensive rotations by Julian Phillips. And it's like, how do you expect them to learn, though, if you're going to pull them? Sometimes you got to let players go and grow through their mistakes. And when you don't do that, when you try to save them from themselves, you end up not allowing them to have the development moments. To gain, what did somebody call it one time? XP, right? Sometimes you got to gain XP out there. That time out on the break was the only thing that pissed me off tonight. We all know Giddey was about to lob that shit up for a modest highlight dunk. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Vaughn says, I'm kind of on board with keeping Lonzo with this young group. I think he adds so much to the development of this team. His IQ is super high, and he's a player that exudes hard work. Listen, no knock there. And like I've said many, many times before, when this Lonzo conversation comes up, it's not about Lonzo sucking or anything while you're trying to move him. It's the fact that if the Bulls know that they don't want to take a risk at signing Lonzo to any type of long-term money, then you move him and you take advantage of the value that he has out there. That's just smart basketball. If they already have made it in their minds, we can't re-sign Lonzo because we just can't go through this injury thing again, right? Then move him, right? But it's not because Lonzo is bad. It's actually the opposite. You're moving him right now because he probably has some value out there on the trade market. And Lloyd, you look like a bug's life, my brother. Like literally, you look like a bug's life. You look like the roaches in a bug's life. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. You also look like you bundle up the roaches and smoke them at the end of it. But you know, it is what it is, bro. You gotta do what you gotta do. 234 people, only 35 likes. Are we here for Hayes or against Hayes? Come on now, get the likes up, C-Ray. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Not sure if I'm allowed to chat anymore. Just want to say sorry again. I'll be back next season, new and improved. No more joking, strictly basketball only. I promise. Take it, nigga. Hey, for MC season, stop acting sensitive. Get your ass back in here. I'm not going to say the Raptors are a super good team, but y'all acting like this team didn't just win 5 straight games. Don't let the rookie fool you. They played hard. I mean, they played hard today. The Bulls outplayed them, but we're not going to act like the Bulls and even if they did, right? The Bulls beat the damn Celtics and then lost a bunch of games. So it is what it is. The Bulls are such a wildly inconsistent team, man. It is what it is. Damn it, I really don't want to let Zoe go because of what he's meant to the squad over the years and helped our young prospects develop and evolve, but you just can't risk taking a chance on him due to health. Well, let's be clear. Lonzo didn't, over the years, he played, 38 games here and then come back and what he's played, is he reached 30-ish, over 30-ish now? So it is what it is, man. I like Lonzo too, but it is what it is when it comes down to it. When Stacy says there are 5 balls on the floor, why not in the? I should have really proofread that. That's crazy. That's crazy. I feel like with tanking, sure, it can work out sometimes, but I feel like it's better to develop young guys by mixing up wins and losses, not just losing games on purpose. Kills confidence in rookies. Well, no team's really losing out there on purpose. Players and coaches don't tank. Front offices tank by trading and not putting out a proper roster and that, but they're gonna keep performing out there and keep trying to fight, which they should do. They did win 5 straight games, but it was against the Wizards, Pelicans, Hawks 2 times, and an out of whack Orlando. I'm taking the win for sure, but the 5 games is a bit of a fake. Hey, yeah, I talked about that today when I previewed the game, so you're not wrong there. And here's the thing, though, y'all. Like, if we're gonna criticize the Bulls when they lose against teams they shouldn't lose against, let's not act like we can't say, hey, the Bulls took care of business today, right? If the Bulls would have lost this game, the same people that are like, oh, why are we talking about it? It was against the Raptors, would have been like, oh my God, that's how bad we are. We couldn't even beat the Raptors. So it's like, hey, like they took care of business, right? So let's it is what it is, man. For my ass off, got him. Somebody please take down the interview of Pat saying he was game because I'm lost, bro. 9.5 points per game ain't no Jesus. You feel what? What? It's crazy. But like I said, solid win by this team, man. And I love the way that the performance is built. I love the way that these young guys are building so much chemistry off the bench. It's really turning into something special with the chemistry that these players are having off the bench. And I, for one, am not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I just realized the Bulls haven't even won 5 straight games this season. The Raptors are better in that regard. I mean, yeah, win streaks are win streaks, but it is what it is. You can't really judge which team is better by who has had the longest win streak per se, because it does come down to the opponent and other things like that. But it is what it is. Vooch jumped ahead of David Robinson for 26 all-time in double-double. Shout out to Nikola Vucevic. Shout out to Vucci gang, man. Vooch, listen, and it's so Bulls fans can be so rough at times on Nikola Vucevic, man. And then when he does stuff good, it's like they're like, yeah, but and it's like, yeah, Vooch is exactly who the Bulls thought they were trading for when they got him. He just is. This is exactly who they thought they were trading for. There's no surprises here, not one bit. The Bulls are who we thought they were. So now let's just see it continue. Let's continue to grow, develop, and see what this thing's going to turn into, man. We got some talent on this team, right? I've said that even throughout some of the worst losing streaks, whatever. We got some talent on this team. It's just about how it all comes together, how they continue to develop, how this front office continues to build off of that talent, right? We really do got some talented players on this team, and a lot of these young guys really deserve another opportunity to really show what they can do. They just do. I celebrate the wins because we ain't that good either. We can be the best crab in the bucket. Yeah, I mean, listen, unfortunately, the Toronto Raptors are a team that are around the Chicago Bulls level this season. This is what it is. Pat is back doing Bulls watch parties again. Started tonight. Yeah, he did over on the Bulls Breeze. Win streaks happen for great teams, or it can happen to teams that get hot for a short stretch with the help of schedule and injury and rest. Great point there. Great point there. No question, Vooch has been playing out of his mind this year, and I definitely the one down on his ass. No Diddy, but my G has been really balling. I mean, listen, Vooch has been playing overall good this season. There's going to be some games where Vooch doesn't look good. That's just the nature of Nikola Vucevic, and the fact that he's not a super athletic player and things like that. But Vooch overall has been playing pretty solid this season. Got to give him credit for it. Bulls could have had one of the deepest bench if Modest and P. will continue to play good together. And once Io goes back to the bench with Smith, once Zach comes back. Yeah, I mean, the Bulls could have a nice athletic bench that's going to come in, fight hard, compete hard, run up and down the court, dunk on you, right? That's demoralizing for a team, especially if your starters are playing well. Like, imagine having a starting lineup that plays well, that shoots threes or whatever, and then when the reserves come in, you got these young, scrappy, athletic players that are just young and don't give a shit. That's crazy, right? The fact that Billy still hasn't figured out how to get the most out of his young players tells me he's holding them back. There's a lot of people that are going to agree with you on that one, Reginald. A lot of people that are going to agree with you. And I think that like development has been one of the things that has gone by the wayside by the Bulls. I know we got Peter Patton. I know he started working with players last year, but I'm just talking about overall. Like there's been some serious lack of development because of the place that the Bulls are in and how they were trying to compete. Now let's see if we can start correcting some of that, right? Do we think the team's going to play better or worse after the All-Star break? I mean, I don't know. That really depends on a few things. Do we make a move? Are we actually fully healthy? How to have Modest, P. Will, these guys, are they a little bit more consistent on the second half of the year? Is Coby more consistent on the second half of the year? He's been a wildly inconsistent player for the most part this season. Those are things that you got to look at before you can determine that. But the All-Star break, too, you got to keep in mind the All-Star break, like there's always this period of time between like right around the start of February to about the middle to end of March where the teams that know they're championship contenders, they ease off the gas a little bit, right? And then after that, about a week or so after that All-Star break, they start pushing that pedal back down on that gas, revving up into the playoffs. So it's going to be a lot tougher. You're going to see a lot of those kind of upper teams that have lost to some surprising teams on the second half of this year. They are going to really, really be firing on all cylinders, hopefully leading into the playoffs, which could lead it to being a very difficult go for some of the lesser teams in the league, right? Hayes, do you have a cutoff time for mailbag questions each week? So the mailbag is about 3 minutes is the voicemail limit. So even if you're sending in something via email, try to stay within that 3 minutes. Sad for Julian Phillips, though. He's lost out completely now with the emergency of Modest and P. Will killing it off the bench. It is what it is, all a part of it, but he had his moments. Yeah, I mean, but that's why it's important to bring it. You got to bring it at all times because you never know. Those next minutes are not guaranteed for a lot of people. Not guaranteed for a lot of people. We were actually seeing a good fast break run, and then Billy calls a timeout. That was hilarious. I mean, Billy going Billy, man. We got a lot of promising talent here. Just got to modify a few things around them to get the most production from them on a more consistent basis by bringing clarity to the roster. Stop living in two lanes. Yeah, you got to pick a direction, and we really got to see that direction out, right? Hayes, have the New Orleans Pelicans wanted to trade Zach LaVine for Herb Jones? Would you take it with 2 second-round picks? No. The fuck? For Zach? 2 seconds? No, come on. People has been more comfortable on the bench, so I expect Billy to start him immediately. I mean, I can see that happening. Carl says, do you think the Bulls moved P. Will to the bench last season that he wouldn't have gotten the contract extension he got in terms of money? He did get moved to the bench last season. Didn't P. Will, if I'm not mistaken, didn't P. Will in the yeah, because I know Javante came back and he played Purdue. Oh, no, wait. P. Will went out with injury last year. That's what it was. I was about to say, where's P. Will at the end of that season? I don't know. I can't say that. Like, injuries are a thing that injuries are more results of minutes played than starting or coming off the bench. That just is what it is. I mean, like you see, P. Will still playing his normal minutes, even coming off the bench now. So I don't know if it's as much as I don't know if that is as much as where you're playing versus how long you're playing. Brock says, hey, sorry, I meant the time before you put the mailbag. Oh, I don't put it together to the morning. So I tomorrow morning, probably around 8 a.m. Central Time is when I'll start putting it. But keep in mind, there's mailbag Saturday and Sunday are mailbag days. So even if you miss the Saturday cutoff, you'll make the Sunday cutoff. But yeah, usually by 8, 9 a.m. Sundays when I'm getting it up. I always prefer development over getting wins now, and today's game is an example of that. I mean, well, they got the win now as well, so. They're fun bad occasionally, but they've also been excruciating bad for most of the. Yeah, I mean, the fun bad thing was like the first like 15 games of the season were the fun bad era, and then it went from that to like bad. So you know, and it's ebbed and flows. It's gonna go as the season goes on. You really can't control that too much. Hayes, there was another plane crash. I saw. I don't know why that's coming up in this chat, but hey, this is the ideal trade for Zach. Trade him to the Magic for Jonathan Isaac and KCP, plus the Nuggets pick and a top 14 protected pick in 2026. That's a win-win. Come on, Big Diesel, bro. Like, come on, man. You lost in the sauce there, brother. Hayes, if I told you I would trade Javon Carter or THT for Javonte Green, I mean, I would do that too. Definitely do that too. What do you think of Darko when he was complaining about the foul? I was hoping so bad he would say it's a complete crap. That's wow, Archangel. You're such a dope content creator, man. I wish anyone in the city can become consistent winners for the channel. So I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that, man. I love doing this. I love my teams, and that's what really pushes me through. But all right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap this up. I gotta go do Locked on Bulls. Make sure you guys are following the channel at Bull Central Pod. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all. And finally, after a while, get to play. Hold on, we got a question. Uh-oh. Wait. Where'd it go? Edwin, question. You think if we had credible coach such as Mark Jackson, you could see, come on. Mark Jackson is what you went to? I don't think any coach can make this team have a winning record. This is a struggle of a team. But love you guys. Go Bulls. See red, y'all. See y'all in the morning. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.